In today's video, we're going to be working in addition and subtraction fact families. On the right hand side, you can see it says for addition, you're going to go ahead and do part plus part equals a whole. And then when we're doing subtraction, we always have to use wholes minus part equals part. Okay. For number one, we have 3. I go ahead and put the 3 counters plus 1. And we know that 3 plus 1, we can go ahead and count 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4. Now, to go ahead and do it a different way is another part, right? So, instead of being 3, we put the other part, which is 1 plus 3. It's still going to give us 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now, when we go ahead and do the subtraction on the right hand side, you see that it says we have to start with the whole. And the whole here is going to be 4. Okay? So 4 is our whole. Okay? So we're going to go ahead and put 4. Okay? Minus, we're going to use any part. You can use 3 or you can use 1. In this case, we use 3. So 4 minus 3. Okay? So we go 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we subtract 3, we X out 1, we can X out 2, X out 3. So now we're only going to have 1 left. Okay? Now we're just going to use the other part. We're going to switch it. So we still keep the whole, which is 4. Now instead of using 3 as one of the part, we're going to use our other part, which is 1. Okay? Now, if we go ahead and do 4 minus 1, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And we X out, let's say, we X out 1. We're going to count how many we have left. Counters. 1, 2, 3. So your answer is 3. It's used, when you see this, you see that 1 plus 3 equals 4, which is part plus part equals your whole. And if you see, you have your whole minus a part equals the other part. If for some reason you don't have the numbers 3, 1, and 4 in here, then you know you did something wrong. So go back and check where do you think you did your mistake. Okay. For number 2, we have 5 plus 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 is going to be our whole. Okay. So 7 is our whole. Now, what only we're going to do on this one is just switch our parts. So instead of having 5 plus 2, we're going to have 2 plus 5. So we start with 2. 1, 2, plus 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we can have the same answer as our whole if we switch it. Okay. Now for subtraction, we're gonna go ahead. If you look on the right hand side, we start when we do subtraction with our whole. Our whole here is gonna be 7. So 7 minus, I get to choose which part I want to start with. I want to go ahead and start with 5. So I'm gonna do 7 minus 5 equals 2. Okay, how we do? We gotta count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'm gonna go ahead and X out 5. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I'm gonna see how many I have left. 1 and 2. Okay. Then we go on the next one. We still have to use 7 as our whole, because 7 is our whole. Minus, but now we're just gonna switch our parts. So instead of being 5, we're gonna go and have 2 to be our part. Okay. So now you can go ahead and say 7 minus 2, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then we're going to go ahead and subtract 2. So we're going to get X out 2. Now we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On example 3 and 4, go ahead and try to challenge yourself and try to solve these problems on your own. If you think it's still difficult for you, go back and check 1 and 2, or just go ahead and do a follow through on 3 and 4, and then see if you still need help. Go ahead and start from the beginning. Watch the video as many times as you want to get better on it. Okay. So for here, I use a different. Instead of using counters, I use pennies and quarters. Okay. You can use whatever you want, whatever you have at home. If you want to use as counters, okay? So for here we have 7 pennies. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pennies, and we have 4 quarters. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, so when we go ahead and add 7 plus 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So remember, this is our part, and 11 is gonna be our whole. Okay. Now, since we have 7 plus 4, all we gotta do is switch our parts. Okay. We have our part to be 4 plus our other part is 7 equals our whole, which is 11. Okay. On the right hand side, remember when we subtract, when you're using subtraction, we use our whole, which our whole is 11. So we go 11, and you get to choose which part you want to go ahead and do first. You can use 7 as the first part, or you can use 4 in your second one. So I'm going to go ahead and use 11 minus 7. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And we're going to subtract 7. So we're just going to X out 7. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we're going to count how many we got left. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 4. Now all we're going to do is still have our whole, which is 11. Now, and what we're going to just do is switch our parts. So instead of having 7, we're going to have here 4. So now we're going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and X out. We're only going to X out 4 because we're only subtracting 4. So we're going to X out 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that means it leaves all of our pennies, and we're just going to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And remember, if your answer is anything different from these 3 numbers, 7, 4, and 11, that means you went and did something wrong. So go ahead and check where you think you did your mistake, okay? For number 4, we have 4 plus 9. So we're just going to go ahead and count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 is going to be our whole, okay? And all we're going to do is switch our parts. So we have 4 plus 9. Now we're going to do 9 plus 4. It's going to be the same thing, 13. Okay, so now we're going to use our whole to be 13. You can go ahead and put 13 as well because we know we're going to use wholes for both. And all we're going to do, remember, is subtract any of these parts. So we're going to start with 4 here. So that means in your second part, you have to use 9. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do 13 minus 4. So we're going to go ahead and X out 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're just going to count how many we have left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, now we're going to do 13 minus 9. We already have 4 X out. Now we're just going to add 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So now we're going to count how many we have left. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4. As you can see, all the numbers in here are the same. We use 4, 9, and 13. Once again, if you see a different number other than those 3 numbers, that means you have your problem wrong. You got to go back and check where you did your mistake. And once again, thank you for watching.